This week in British literature, we're going to be studying a special kind of poem called the sonnet. And sonnets rely heavily on meter. Meter is just the rhythm of words that's used in a poem and very often in song lyrics. So exactly how does meter work? Well, if you think about it, when we speak, words naturally have stressed and unstressed syllables in them. And when you put them into patterns, that can create a rhythm. So as I mentioned earlier, song lyrics rely heavily on this, especially rap. The artists will put together specific rhythms and find words that fit those rhythms based on their stressed and unstressed sounds. These types of patterns, the patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables, have formal names. We're going to just concentrate on the main type of meter, which is iambic pentameter. This one's the most common in the English language. And if you were in class last quarter in British literature, we talked about iambic pentameter just very briefly. Shakespeare used a lot of blank verse in the play Macbeth, and blank verse is unrhyming iambic pentameter. Don't let the word scare you. It's pretty simple. When we're talking about meter, we'll talk about a foot. And a foot is kind of a basic unit. 1 foot is 2 syllables. And when you're talking about iambic, an iamb then is an unstressed plus a stressed syllable. Da-da. So you need to find words that fit that da-da pattern. We'll talk about that in just a minute. When you put 5 iambs in a row, that's pentameter. So the word penta means 5 and meter means rhythm. And that's just where the word comes from. So iambic pentameter is the main rhythm that we're going to be discussing. Here's an example of a sentence that uses iambic pentameter. Now, I have written the stressed words in capital letters, or the stressed syllables, I should say, in capital letters. And when I read this, I'm going to over-exaggerate. I am a pirate with a wooden leg. You can hear that da-da, 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 da-da sound. So you could think of a pirate walking with a wooden leg, and every time that he took a step with that leg, it would make a special sound. Might sound like a horse galloping. But you can see that it matches the unstressed and stressed syllables. That's an example of iambic pentameter. Just for fun, I'm going to show you that there's some other types of meter too. So here is a line from Macbeth. So if you were in British literature last quarter, you might recognize that this was a line that the witches said right before Macbeth went to get his second set of prophecies. They sound different than the other characters because they're not speaking in iambic pentameter. Let's take a look at this. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn and cauldron, bubble. It's just the opposite of iambic pentameter. You can hear that the stressed syllable now is coming first. Double. Instead of I am, double. When the stressed syllable is coming first, that's called a trochee. So remember the stressed syllable coming second, that's an I am. Stressed syllable coming first is a trochee. And in this case, we have 4 trochees in a row. There's 8 syllables here. Double, double, toil, and trouble. There's 4 trochees. So then this is called trochaic tetrameter. Now, don't worry about learning this because I'm not going to expect you to know this, but I just wanted you to see that there are different types of meter that writers can use. So again, the main one that we'll be discussing in class is iambic pentameter. And I want you, for this week, on the worksheet, come up with a couple of lines of original iambic pentameter. Here's another example. The dog ran up the tree to catch the cat. You can hear that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da sound. You know you have iambic pentameter when it fits that rhythm and when your sentence has a total of 10 syllables. Here's another example. Oh, British lit is always fun to do. You notice there's 10 syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you always want to start with an unstressed syllable. So very often you'll notice lines of iambic pentameter starting with the word the, with the word o, with the word well, all of these words that we would not naturally stress in a sentence. Good luck working this week on the assignments, and as always, if you have questions, make sure you let me know.